Hello, all, and welcome to the Power to the Pinky podcast with Taylor Marbury. This is episode 5, and I'm really excited because I have a great question from Ron from YouTube. And let me glance over. He asked, did you have to get over any shyness at all, and how did you do it? I'm a musician, and I would love to perform live, guitar and vocals, same, but I have something deep-rooted making it extremely difficult to sing in front of other people. Listen, Ron, this is beyond relatable. Yes. Okay, so how does one get over it? Okay, when I used to perform, it would be so bad. I would be trying to play, just even like something simple, some open chords, and my hands would literally shake before, after, and during the performance. Okay? So if it's any consolation, just know that you are not alone, like the Michael Jackson song, you are not alone. Okay, I am here for you. So I would say there's a couple of things that I would address in this on how to get more comfortable. So let's kind of break them down, okay? Step 1, you want to be able to know your songs so well. When you are starting, later you can take requests and do all that fun stuff. But you want to have them, what I say with my guitar students is, where you could tell a whole conversation and be playing something. Be like, hey, how's it been going? It's been crazy weather today. It's just another day. Today's Tuesday. You want to be able to do that, okay? That way, at least you can see, I'm more guitar brain. The singing comes after. So for me, personally, it's easier to think, okay, let's focus on the guitar. Let's nail that. Let's get that down. Whether it be chords, maybe there's some fill stuff you want to add in there. But try to nail that down first, okay? Once you have that, then pick some songs you are like so comfortable singing. You could have amnesia, or like that device they have in Men in Black where they just like wipe all of their memory for the past like 24 hours. You need that where you would still remember the lyrics, okay? That's what I would recommend. So step 1 is really, really, really having your stuff down, not even having to think about it, really just knowing it, which I realize is obvious. It depends on what setting you're doing this in too. I've noticed, some people have their phones, their iPads, their tablets, a book, a binder, with the lyrics if all else fails. So if you need that while you're starting, and I still have my phone on my mic stand just in case I need to glance over, or I usually use it when people request songs. Except if it's come together. For some reason, I cannot remember the first word of each verse. I know all the verses super well, and I do it in C minor, but Here Come All Flat Top, I got that. But anyway, you catch my drift here, okay? So that is your first thing. Your second thing is get in a situation where you feel comfortable. Now, for me personally, I always felt terrified when people I knew were listening, or if I was playing to an audience that was actively listening. I do find it easier to play for, 1,000 people versus 1 or 2, especially if you know the 1 or 2. That's like the scariest thing ever. Like when my parents come to my gigs, oh my gosh, you'll know I'm on my best behavior. Let me put it like that. I get, oh my gosh, that's when hands start to shake again, because you want to do a good job. You want to impress them. And it's scary. It's scary being up there. Let's just be honest. Again, you just have to know, like, you're awesome, even if you don't believe it. Okay. So we want to get really, really comfortable with that. We want to play maybe an open mic setting with people you do know or don't know. I would recommend don't know. I always love when I play a gig and I don't know anybody there. I'm like, okay, there we go. I'm just going to hide in the corner and do my thing here. So that's kind of nice. Okay, that's another option. Now, if you are just doing it for fun, the more people you can get in front of, the better, okay? And again, strangers are great. I did start doing a lot of open mics around the city, and I would do my originals, which was, you want to add a whole nother level of terrifying. It's like, here's my original music, which is like reading my diary, although I don't have a diary, just the songs tell the stories, right? In front of everybody. And so that was something I battled a lot with. And I felt so uncomfortable, Ron. I think that's the big thing to remember is if you're not having cognitive dissonance, are you even performing, right? It's like, but your body language has to speak for you, right? Your body language has to say. So I will tell you this, even when I'm having a gig where I weirdly feel shy, which happens more often than not, if I go to one of these small wine bars or restaurants and, I can see people are listening and like actually listening, I get nervous, really nervous. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So, and I have to kind of get in that mindset of like, okay, even if my voice in my head is saying, Taylor, you suck, You can't play, you can't do anything. I have to know deep in my heart and my soul that I sound good. Even if I don't believe it, I will just keep saying it until I believe it, okay? So I'll sit there and I might be, doing some brown-eyed girl or whatever it may be, and I don't actually think I sound good, but that voice in my head is saying, no, you got this. Just keep moving, keep grooving, just pretend, fake it till you make it. I do kind of live by that. Fake it till you make it. Okay, so again, we've talked about just knowing the song really well. Trying to play for people that you don't know is better, I think, personal opinion. You may want to play for friends and family. By all means, please do so. And and then also just body language is huge. Grooving, whether that voice in your head is saying you can't do it, you just got to keep going. You have to keep going. And another thing I would say, which this one's just kind of annoying, you just have to keep doing it. Like, you really genuinely, I can't tell you how many gigs I did before, and I still, like I mentioned, I still get nervous. I still have off days. I still have days where I just don't feel like being entertaining at all. And I know I have to get up there and some venues it's more like put on a show, and I'll have to really keep it upbeat. I have to do my thing and really, really interact with the crowd. Some venues I can be background music, which again, sometimes I like. Sometimes I want to zone out and just kind of play some stuff that I like, make really, really pretty guitar. You know what I mean? It's almost like just a little practice session for me, which is great. Because some days, it's just like any other job. Some days you're just not feeling it, right? So you want to get up as much as possible and do it, right? So the more you do it, the better. Because I'm not kidding, when I was a child, I could not get up in front of anybody. I would not sing in the school choir. I would not do any of that. It was horrifying to me. But I kind of felt like I needed to keep doing it. I kind of was like, okay, so I'm experiencing cognitive dissonance, which I physically felt all throughout my body, every cell of my being. So I was like, maybe I should just keep doing it. Because I knew I wanted to play in front of people. Now, let me give you another thing that I find to be very helpful. Now, I actually started mainly playing in duos, and duo specifically with my mom, and obviously we go way back. So that's super helpful too, like having somebody up on stage that you trust and musically trust. They won't leave you in the lurch. They won't look at you if you mess up or anything like that. You have to have a really good, good chemistry and a good bond with. But if you have somebody up there, I've also found it to be a lot easier. It's a great way to kind of break into that. Now, when I first started gigging my mom, she would do all the talking. I remember what I did. I would sit and I would be playing, we'd be doing some jazz song, and I would just stare at my guitar. I would not really look at the audience much. I was horrified, terrified, really. And she would be cracking jokes all day, all night. My mom's a pro, right? So she could work the audience so well, and I was just there doing the stuff, okay? So that's a good way too, just playing with somebody that, is outgoing if you want to kind of hide at first, and then get yourself more comfortable. So then, once I started doing more solo gigs after that, I did steal some of her lines, like the more you drink, the better we sound, etc. And that was super helpful though, just, kind of a really great way to learn a lot of tips and tricks along the way, and a really good way to start feeling comfortable being in front of people. That way, you're not the only object that they're staring at. They're like, hello, right? So, and again, whether that be with a band, a duo, a trio, if you're singing harmony with a singer. But that's another really good way that I found to be more comfortable. But yeah, I mean, it's not something that, I don't know if it'll ever go away. Any size venue I've ever played, there's always and I wonder if it's nerves just because, partly you just want to do a good job. Sometimes you always want to do a good job. You don't want to phone it in, not with this stuff, right? So, I mean, partially it was just, I want to do a good job, and you may mess up, but it's all about how you recover, right? I was just telling one of my students earlier today, I was playing, who knows what, Free Fallin' or something, I do it in G. And I mess up the words, or I don't even know. I just, if I'm not looking, I'm like, da, da, da. I go up a fret. Oops, I get that kind of sound. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. It's all about the recovery, right? It's all about the recovery. I have a bad tendency to giggle when I mess up. Now, thankfully, I'm usually in a small corner. Sometimes I'm on a stage, that sort of thing, but usually I'm just kind of hiding away. So if I'm giggling, hee hee, and it's more like a smile, like I crack a smile, and if I'm cracking a smile, I know I messed up, but nobody else knows. And even on really famous songs where I can't mess up, like Hotel California, I do it in a weird key. Bear with me, G sharp minor. Sometimes I'll miss, the fret. Like like that. I kind of like, or sometimes I'll even just play the wrong thing. Like I'll do something like that. Like I literally just did that, okay? And then, so I'm playing this kind of thing. And we all know that part. We all do. I don't care if you've only heard the song one time, which, okay, I think my audience has heard that song many a time at my gigs, but we all know that part. And so that's like one where I still get really nervous. That song, and then Classical Gas by Mason Williams, and I'm putting my pick down like the... I played that at my high school talent show my senior year and definitely messed it up. Oh my gosh, was obliterated. I can't tell you how nervous I was for that. And then I do it at my gigs when I know people will appreciate it. Let me put it like that. When I know, hey, these peeps may have heard it. And I only do it then. And every time I do it, I don't know what it is about this song. It's like a mental block for me. Only for the guitar playing. Obviously, there's no singing. There's a couple songs that I do singing-wise that, you know, people ask for. Like, I don't really do Fast Car unless somebody asks for it, but that's one I usually mess that up too. See, so I'm telling you, like, I mess up a lot, and that's just part of it. You just got to recover and realize, like, it's live music. This may happen. You know, I've even been to concerts where these musicians that wrote the songs will mess up their lyrics or their chords. So you just got to keep, you know, you have to recover. You have to engage with the audience in a way that's like, it's okay. So, Ron, I hope that helps. So again, remember, just the more you do it, the better. Get up in front of people. Open mics are usually a pretty welcoming place. So I would say if you haven't already, go there, network with some other musicians if you don't know any. See if you guys, you know, you can kind of ease into this process by just getting up on stage with more people. Or if you're like, no, I'm determined to be a solo act, guess what? Then you just got to keep doing it, okay? So really, really knowing your songs is super helpful. At least one or the other, at least the voice or the guitar. But it's doable. It's really, really doable. Another thing I do, one more quick tip for you. I sit and I visualize myself up on stage. I'll close my eyes, breathe, deep breathing. Again, part of the meditation thing I'm trying to get into. And I'll do that. And I really, really just sit there and I imagine myself smiling and like, you know, having a good time and entertaining people. Right? Because if I'm having fun, they're going to see that. The energy that I'm giving off is going to come across to them as well. So that's something else I would totally recommend doing. Just getting, you know, visualizing yourself. You're up on stage, you're jamming, you're playing all the hits. Everybody's having a great time. People are loving it. You're loving it. You know, the time goes by. Those are the gigs that we live for, right? Those are the shows that are like, can I just have 1,000 of these, please? Because you really do feel like you're on top of the world, okay? And so we want all of those, ideally, right? One day, that's my goal, right? And you know, it's still a job, but it's the best job. That's what I tell people. I'm like, it's still a job, but it's amazing. All right, Ron, I hope that answered some of your questions. And again, happy to go kind of more in depth on the open mic scene and that sort of thing, getting into that realm of things. But power to the pinky. Remember, we got to do those pinky stretches at least once a day, peeps. We got to get that power to the pinky. And I hope that answers your question. All right. Thank you guys so much. Power to the Pinky with Taylor Marbury, episode 5.